Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. As part of your daily quiz, we'll be discussing 4 very important questions, one previous year and a very important fact of the day. But before we begin, as always, we have all our initiatives back, which includes DQ. But a very important announcement for you will be that there's one-to-one counseling which we have started, and the link is given in the description below, wherein you can just fill the Google form and that will help you get any form of guidance if needed. So you can just open that link, fill up your details, and one-to-one counseling with regards to UPSC, anything, any question you can ask through that. With this, let's begin an analysis, a short one but an important one. First, a very interesting question out of an article out of the Indian Express itself. Consider the following statements. Women's participation in the MGNREGA or the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Generation or Guarantee Scheme itself has been constantly declining. Amongst all states, Kerala has the highest participation of women in this scheme. Now, which of the statements are correct? Now, if you look at it, these two statements seem to be complementary. And if the first statement is correct, then the second statement should be also correct, or they look totally contradictory to each other. That if women's participation is been declining, Kerala should be the one which should have the least or the most. So the fact is there are certain information which is in turn coming in between our understanding. But the first statement is incorrect. Women's participation has been either being constant or is rising. That was the article. And second, this statement is totally correct. Answer is B, wherein Kerala does contribute the highest percentage. So here, what would happen is that if you think they are complementary, you would answer both of them as incorrect. On the other hand, the contradictory aspect would have led to you to realize that the first statement is correct, the second statement has to be incorrect. So this is a technique question, but you need to understand what is the concept. Let's look at the article through which this question was made out. So 59% women participation this fiscal, and 54%, 55, 56, 53, 54, 54, 53, 54, 57, 59. Now there has been a constant rise here, wherein from 54 to 57 to 59 in MGNREGA. But the fact is that women contribute quite a lot to this scheme itself, and any statement with regards to declining, stagnant may not be correct because there is a rising trend in that regard. And to give you further understanding, South Indian states such as Kerala 89%, Tamil Nadu 86%, Puducherry 87.16%, Goa have recorded over 70% participation of women. Thereafter, we have 40% for the northern states like Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, and thereafter for states and UTs, lower participation, Jammu and Kashmir 30, Lakshadweep 38%. And the fact of the matter is, if we look at the data itself, it is not a very, very contradictory view to what we see of India generally to women's participation. These states generally have higher women participation in the workforce generally. So therefore, in MGNREGA also, or MGNREGAs, it is the same. Thereafter, the same type of pattern we see for other states where women participation in generally the workforce is lower, so it is lower in this sector also. So a very good question with regards to how they can make statement based question about trends. This is a trends question, and you should also remember the states which have certain type of participation. With this, let's move to the next question. India made its first ever payment for oil in rupees to which of the following countries? Again, a question which seems to be very easy prima facie, but is difficult in the context of the examination. And here the answer is UAE. And again, in Indian Express article, very, very important that was, wherein we have finally found a solution to our oil issues in that regard. And India is trying to pursue a three-pronged approach. So this was a minor point, remember this for the examination, but generally we are an 85% dependent import oil country in that regard. We import close to 85% of our oil, and we have been having a three-pronged strategy. This is very, very important for mains generally and for prelims also. We are buying the cheapest available source. This is something very interesting. Second, diversifying sources of supply and not breaching any international obligation like the price cap in the case of Russian oil. And herein comes the UAE angle, where we're trying to find a way as a third largest importer in that regard that how we can diversify and find a way of not impacting our forex results also. And that way, this is very, very significant because this will be better for our forex. We are not bleeding dollars in that regard, and rupee will become more and more acceptable throughout the West Asian sector. This may help in other OPEC countries also. So very significant that way. UAE is the answer for this question. Thereafter, Mission Karamyogi, again something which has been in the news for the past 1 year, but again was in the focus yesterday. Mission Karamyogi envisages to develop domain knowledge besides administrative capacity in the bureaucracy. The concept is to begin right at the recruitment level and then invest in building more capacity through rest of their careers. Which of the statements are correct? Both seem to be institutional type questions. Both statements are very straightforward. And if you have any idea about Karamyogi, you would know that both statements are correct. Yes, it is about a better capacity building for our bureaucracy other than administrative capacity, so as to have certain specialization in certain areas also. Why are we discussing this question? We are discussing it because of the fact that the Good Governance Day, the Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh launched the extended version of Mission Karamyogi yesterday, and therefore this was again in the news and becomes important for us. Generally, I gave you the two most important statements and objectives here. And as I said, Good Governance Day, yesterday's news, Mission Karamyogi extended version phase 2 is also going, and in that regard becomes important generally. So these are the two most important objectives. That way you learn something also and you know also about the basic ideas. Thereafter, with Madan Mohan Malviya's very, very important anniversary yesterday, this question becomes relevant. An interesting question. 4 facts about him, something to teach you rather than asking you something. He was elected as the president of the INC only once. He was given the title of Mahamana by Mahatma Gandhi. He founded the Banaras Hindu University in 1916. He started English daily called Leader in 1909. Which of the following are correct? Here, the fact is 1, 2, 3, none. Means that one statement is incorrect. Here you have to decide which is the one which is incorrect. And here you can see an extreme statement, but has been true for a lot of people. For example, Mahatma Gandhi only once. He was not once, but 4 times the president of the INC. Therefore, this statement is incorrect and all other 3 statements are totally correct. Yes, Mahamana by Mahatma Gandhi, BHU in 1916 and Leader in 1909. Please learn this. This question was more about telling you something than asking you something. Please learn this fact because it will be important for your preparation generally in that regard, because Madan Mohan Malviya was in the news yesterday with Atal Bihari Vajpayee also, but he is a more important figure when it comes to UPSC level understanding because of the modern Indian connection. Thereafter, this is the context, birth anniversary, 25th, and the Prime Minister tweeted about him, and it was quite an interesting tweet which he talked about his contributions and how he has been very, very important. Karamyogi also called by Rajagopalachari or Rajaji in that regard. So that was important personality for the examination. Thereafter, previous year, if you've been following history, you would know, very easy question, but let's go with it. Souls are not the only property of animals and plant life, but also the rocks, running water, many other natural objects not looked on as living by other religious sects. The first statement is about which religious sect. So it's talking about soul are not only the property of animals and plants, but everything has a soul. As soon as you know everything has a soul, it has to be Jainism. A very easy question which came in 2023 with regards to history and ancient India. Easy question, very straightforward. With this, let's talk about the fact of the day. This tunnel has been in the news quite a lot in Himachal Pradesh. So this is the first thing which you need to know. The Sanjauli-Dhalli tunnel, which has been recently inaugurated in Himachal Pradesh, is very, very important. And now you need to know which sectors does it link from Kufri, Nandhera, Tatapani, thereafter the Nartanka and Chel. This whole sector and 154-meter tunnel has been inaugurated recently in the Himachal Pradesh sector. Very, very important. Can be asked as a geography or historical geography or generally a very standard quiz-based question in the examination. So with this, I would like to again reiterate that the Google form is in the link in the given description below. So you have to remember that the link will help you with creating a certain contact with us for one-to-one counseling, which will be very, very important. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.